Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a minute, but I am back and I am better than before. I honestly stopped recording because I just felt like there wasn't a place in my home where I could just sit and focus on talking to you guys. But my husband went out and made a few purchases and got me this beautiful safe space. So I am back and I'm so dedicated. But anyway, me and my family just got back from spring break. We went to a few places, but our very first stop was the Noah's Ark encounter in Kentucky, guys. That was such an amazingly beautiful experience, and I would encourage each and every one of you guys to at least visit it once. Um, we live about 5 hours away, so we took a 5 hour drive there, and it was 100% worth it. We stayed there for about 3 hours. And I actually did like a quick little 1 minute summary video that I'm gonna clip at the end of this video. But when I tell you, from the moment I walked in, I felt so close to God. I felt this overwhelming emotional experience that I really can't truly explain. I really can't put it into words. So you guys are truly just going to have to check it out for yourself. But as I was in that place, I could not think about how big it was because it was, I believe it was built to scale the original ark. Um, and when you look at how big it was, you just couldn't help but think about one, not only how God gave Noah the talent and the ability to build this ark, but how he gave him the strength to do it and the faith to do it, because there were so many naysayers and so many people around Noah that told him that he was crazy and there was no need for him to build the ark, and best believe that those people were not one of the eight to survive the final storm. I just felt so close to God because I'm thinking the same faith and strength that God gave Noah, that's the type of faith that I truly every day get up and desire to have. Another thing I will say is it really helped me to physically see how when God calls you to do something, He will give you every single tool necessary to carry out His will. And I love that. I love that so much. That just literally made me emotional thinking about it, because like when you are seeking God first, everything else falls into place. And when God positions you right where you need to be, He's going to supply your every need, not necessarily in that moment, maybe over time, but He is going to supply every need necessary to carry out His will. Also, visiting the Noah's Ark encounter experience reminded me of a story in the Bible, because you guys know I read my Bible and I love that I know scripture and how I can compare it to everyday life. But there was a point in the Bible when Jesus was walking through the village and all the people were coming after him and even trying to grab the hem of his clothing. And they just wanted to touch Jesus and they just wanted him to heal and do all these miracles. And Jesus pretty much said, you guys have your God-given faith just like I have faith. And he told them that you have faith enough to move mountains. And I always stick by that. That scripture changed my life because, yes, Jesus is powerful and He's a miracle worker, but you have to also remember that God gave us the faith and strength and power too. We are His children. So I had a revelation in that scripture where it talks about how God gave us mountain moving faith. But something that Jesus said in the Bible that stuck out to me was not that we need to ask the mountain to move. We need to decree and declare the mountain to move. So sometimes things are probably not moving in your life because you are not decreeing and declaring those things to move. So now at times when I really need to rely on my faith, I am decreeing and declaring certain things to shift into my life because of what Jesus said. We have that power. We can do it with our faith. My faith is on a completely different level. I used to pray about things and ask God to do things for me. And yeah, I would still worry about it, but that's not having faith. Now my faith is on another level, to the point where I have that mindset that if I speak it and I talk to God about it and He confirms that it is in His will, then it's gonna happen. I have no doubt that one day I am sitting here as I'm talking to my 42 subscribers, that 42 will change to 42,000, because I know God confirmed with me that it is in His will for me to continue to give out testimonies and talk about His word and talk about the love that Jesus Christ has for us. And there's no way, without my faith and my work and knowing that this is in God's plan and God's will, that this won't reach 42,000 people one day. So just remember that. Keep your faith and continue to talk to God. And as you continue to get closer to God, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about if you don't already. Again, Noah's Ark was an amazing experience. It was an amazing encounter. Me, my husband, and our two boys went, and they were so excited. So it doesn't matter the age, they understood, and it was so well thought out. Shout out to whoever created it and designed it, all the people that worked on it. But I highly encourage you guys to go. Keep your faith, stay in your word, continue praying, continue fasting, do all the things that keep you close to the Lord. And I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. My family and I drove almost 5 hours to Kentucky to experience the Noah's Ark encounter. This place was amazingly beautiful and huge, and it literally put you inside of the Bible story of Noah's Ark. When you first get inside on the first level, there's the storage area of where they probably storage the food and all of the animals. And there's these multiple cages, and from each cage, you're hearing a different noise, which is a sound from a different animal. So you're hearing birds, horses, cows, you name it. It's just beautiful to be here, and you also hear like the thunder and the rain from outside. And then there's these figurines or larger statues of just the 8 characters that were in the Bible. You'll see this all throughout the experience. And then at different times, you'll see 2 of each animals. And of course, the animals look different, more similar to how they looked back then. But then there's this second level where it's giving you the pre-flood story, and it's pretty much telling you how the world was before it went into disaster and it got flooded. And there's all these different sins. They're worshiping idols, they're being violent, there's polygamy, there's all these things. This is them worshiping a false god. On the next floor, there's these large statues, like I said, of the 8 people that were in the ark. And it was just an overall amazing experience, guys. I highly recommend it. There's also a small zoo outside of it. And then there's this VR experience that we also had to pay for an additional fee. But Noah's Ark Encounter in Kentucky, highly recommend it.